When you look down from the dinner table and see those eyes locked on your plate, the instinct to drop food is automatic. Sharing a meal feels like one of the most direct ways we bond with our pets. But acting on that instinct creates a serious dilemma. You want to treat your dog, but human meals are packed with hidden toxins and heavy caloric loads that often cause unintended harm. The problem comes down to a strict biological mismatch. Our digestive systems evolved to process complex meals and rich ingredients. A dog's metabolic system did not. This table illustrates the disconnect. On the left side, we see our perceived reality, a standard plate of human food, viewed entirely as a harmless, high-value reward for good behavior. On the right side is the biological reality. When that same food enters a dog's system, it breaks down into data points their body struggles to process. Their digestive tract cannot handle the spices, the excess sodium, and the complex oils we eat every day. Ignoring that reality carries specific physical consequences. A single fatty meal can trigger an acute bout of pancreatitis, and regular table scraps reliably drive chronic obesity over a dog's lifespan. We are moving past the generic lists of safe versus dangerous foods you find on the internet. Knowing a food isn't poisonous is a low bar for what you feed your pet. Instead, we need to treat safe human foods as a highly specific functional toolkit. You use them to achieve targeted health outcomes. Sharing human foods safely is never a spontaneous act at the dinner table. It requires a strict dietary supplementation framework, and it demands operational discipline from you as the owner. Any human food supplementation relies on one boundary, the 10% rule. Capping treats at 10% prevents obesity and ensures complete nutrition from primary kibble. The trade-off is effort. You must calculate your dog's base metabolic needs from their exact weight, rather than guessing. Once you know your caloric limit, you have to follow the preparation mandate. Any human food you offer must be boiled, baked, or steamed, and it must be entirely plain. That means an absolute ban on salt, butter, oils, and spices. Garlic and onion powder, which are hidden in nearly everything we eat, cause allium toxicity in dogs, destroying their red blood cells. Mechanical preparation is equally strict. You must manually remove all stems, pits, and seeds from fruits like apples and cherries to eliminate the risk of cyanide exposure. Meticulous preparation completely negates the convenience of feeding your dog straight off a dinner plate. The food you eat is seasoned and complex. The food they need is stripped down to the bare elements. If you are unwilling to perform dedicated, separate, unseasoned meal prep, you forfeit the right to share human food with your dog. The risks heavily outweigh the temporary satisfaction. When you put in the prep work, you can build Functional Toolkit 1, which is designed specifically for digestive troubleshooting. The required inputs are narrow: 100% pure canned pumpkin, never pumpkin pie filling, plain unsweetened Greek yogurt, or boiled white rice mixed with plain chicken. The biological outcome is highly effective. These foods deliver prebiotics to the gut, soothe acute gastrointestinal distress. The trade-off is their nutritional profile. These foods lack complete amino acids. They are temporary fixes for an upset stomach and will cause severe long-term nutritional deficiencies if you use them as a permanent diet replacement. Functional Toolkit 2 is built entirely for weight management and satiety. For this toolkit, you substitute high-calorie commercial dog treats with raw or steamed green beans, carrots, and celery. The biological outcome solves a common problem for overweight dogs. These vegetables deliver high dietary fiber and mechanical teeth cleaning with virtually zero fat, keeping the dog in a caloric deficit while allowing them to feel full. The trade-off is physical safety. These raw vegetables carry a severe choking hazard, especially for smaller breeds, requiring you to meticulously chop them into bite-sized pieces before feeding. These whole foods are acute medical or behavioral interventions to be deployed strategically. They are not random snacks meant to fill time. We have to draw absolute red lines regarding toxicity. Certain human foods are incompatible with canine biology in any amount. The specific fatal triggers include grapes and raisins, macadamia nuts, chocolate, and xylitol, an artificial sweetener commonly found in peanut butter and sugar-free gums. The acute biological outcomes of ingestion escalate rapidly. These items trigger sudden renal failure, severe hypoglycemia, or fatal toxicosis. The mandatory protocol upon exposure is immediate transport to an emergency veterinary clinic, or calling and paying the $89 fee for the pet poison helpline to get exact medical guidance. The traditional watch and wait approach, which owners often use for minor stomach upset, is a fatal error when dealing with these specific items. Time is the enemy of recovery here. Safely utilizing human foods demands hypervigilance regarding your household inventory. When it comes to these red line toxins, your margin for error is exactly 0. This quadrant chart, the Safe Sharing Scorecard, helps you map out if supplementing with human food is worth your time based on health value versus preparation effort. In the high-value, low-effort quadrant, pure canned pumpkin delivers high digestive utility for an optimal return on investment. In the high-value, high-effort quadrant, plain boiled chicken provides excellent protein but requires significant cooking time. In the low-value, low-effort quadrant, plain cheese offers heavy fat content with very little functional benefit for the dog. For the health-conscious optimizer, the path is clear. Dedicating time to prep targeted vegetables and lean proteins yields a massive return on investment for your dog's overall metabolic health. For the convenience seeker, the reality is equally clear. If unseasoned meal prep is too burdensome for your schedule, sticking exclusively to high-quality commercial dog treats is the only responsible choice. Attempting to find a middle ground by feeding seasoned table scraps to save time is a guaranteed path to long-term veterinary bills and poor health for your pet. True canine bonding is not about giving a dog what tastes best to the human palate. It is about rigorously providing exactly what functions best for their biology. We all know the feeling. You're sitting at the table, a hot meal in front of you, and those eyes are looking up, asking for just one bite. It feels natural to share our food with our dogs. It's how we bond. But while human stomachs have evolved to break down a massive variety of complex, seasoned meals, a dog's digestive tract is built on an entirely different, far more restrictive biological blueprint. Scraping a dinner plate directly into a dog's bowl introduces hidden, toxic ingredients like sautéed onions, powdered garlic, or heavy butter. Ingredients a canine body is biologically incapable of processing safely. Safely sharing whole foods requires a hard line. We have to completely separate our human culinary habits from their strict biological needs. Before looking at which foods are safe, there is a mathematical baseline we have to establish. Any human food given to a dog must act strictly as a supplement, never as a replacement for their balanced kibble. This chart shows exactly how that caloric balance should look. Veterinary medicine dictates a strict 10% limit. All treats and human foods combined must fit entirely into this small 10% slice, leaving 90% for their core diet. When that treat slice begins to swell past the 10% mark, it physically crowds out the essential vitamins and minerals in their kibble. Over time, this unbalances their baseline nutrition and directly drives canine obesity. Maintaining health requires a two-part strategy: identifying toxins and enforcing the strict daily discipline of calorie tracking. To determine which human foods are safe for dogs, we evaluate them on a matrix charting preparation effort against nutritional impact. In the low-prep, high-reward quadrant, we find raw carrots, cucumbers, and blueberries. These offer high fiber, essential vitamins, and actively reduce plaque. The only real prep work required is chopping these raw foods into bite-sized pieces to completely eliminate choking hazards for smaller breeds. Fresh apples and watermelon also belong in this section, offering hydration and a strong antioxidant boost, but they come with an absolute safety mandate. You must completely remove all apple seeds, which contain trace amounts of cyanide, and all watermelon rinds, which can cause severe intestinal blockages. For pet parents short on time, this low prep quadrant is the most foolproof starting point for adding whole foods to the bowl. Moving over to the high prep, high reward quadrant, we find boiled lean chicken and plain white rice. This combination works as a medical intervention, a highly digestible, bland diet that veterinarians utilize to settle temporary canine diarrhea or gastrointestinal upset. To maintain medical utility, boil the chicken in plain water with 0 salt, 0 oils, and 0 spices. Plain, cooked pumpkin and sweet potato also fit into this high prep category as powerful dietary supplements. Both are packed with soluble fiber that actively regulates digestion. However, because they are dense with natural sugars, they need to be completely excluded if your dog is diabetic or actively fighting obesity. High-prep foods are highly effective medical tools for your dog's gut, but their entire value depends on maintaining absolute discipline during preparation. Now we look at common pantry staples like peanut butter and cheese, the high-risk, high-calorie indulgences. There is no denying their utility. These foods offer incredible behavioral leverage, making them high-value rewards for training and excellent tools for hiding medication. The trade-off is extreme caloric density. A single spoonful can easily blow past the 10% daily calorie limit, leading to rapid weight gain if you aren't strictly measuring every single serving. Peanut butter carries a severe danger. Many commercial brands use an artificial sweetener called xylitol, which is fatally toxic to dogs, even in minute amounts. Indulgences offer unmatched behavioral leverage, but utilizing them safely demands microscopic portion control and vigilant label checking. Finally, we reach the absolute zeros. These are foods like grapes, raisins, onions, garlic, and macadamia nuts. These offer zero nutritional value for a dog and carry fatal consequences. Grapes and raisins trigger acute renal failure, rapidly shutting down the kidneys. Onions and garlic actively destroy red blood cells, which leads directly to severe anemia. Accidental ingestion of any of these items mandates immediate emergency veterinary intervention, often requiring expensive treatments like hemodialysis to save the dog's life. If your dog eats anything from this category, adopting a wait-and-see approach is a fatal strategy. This flowchart outlines the Canine Food Protocol, a decision framework for feeding your dog. Path 1. Raw, plain foods. Under the 10% limit? Approved. Path 2. Seasoned or processed foods. Rejected entirely. Path 3. Accidental ingestion. Go straight to emergency response. Relying on a strict visual protocol removes the emotional guesswork and prevents well-meaning owners from making dangerous split-second decisions. If your dog consumes a toxic food or household chemical, act immediately. Safely remove the dog from the substance and secure whatever is left of the product or packaging for the vet to identify. Do not attempt to induce vomiting at home without direct veterinary instruction. If the ingested substance is a caustic chemical, forcing it back up can cause catastrophic damage to the esophagus. Instead, immediately contact a 24/7 pet poison helpline. Their incident fee is vastly cheaper than the cost of treating irreversible organ damage later. Successfully sharing their life and food with a dog is deeply rewarding, but it demands separating human culinary joy from strict canine biological needs.